October 13, 2012. A woman named Cari Farver walked out of her boyfriend's apartment in Omaha, Nebraska, and simply vanished. But unlike traditional disappearances, Cari didn't just disappear. She began to send messages. Thousands of them. Texts and emails, strange and erratic, painting a portrait of a woman spiraling, abandoning her life, and wanting to be left alone. For years, her loved ones lived under a digital siege, tormented by a phantom they believed was Cari. They heard her voice, read her words, but could never see her. This was not a disappearance. This was the beginning of a haunting. Cari Farver was a vibrant, single mother, beginning a new, casual relationship with Dave Kropa. Dave, a recently divorced man, was also seeing another woman, Shauna Liz Gollier, his ex-girlfriend. It was a modern, uncomplicated arrangement, or so it seemed. Cari was open, earnest, looking for connection. Dave appreciated her directness. Their brief romance ignited quickly, a spark in the everyday. But this fleeting connection, intended to be simple, would soon unravel into a saga of unimaginable complexity and terror. The stage was set, unknowingly, for a deception that would span years. On October 13, Cari spent the night at Dave Kropa's apartment. The next morning, she left. Dave saw her briefly, then headed to work. He never saw her again. That night, a text arrived from Cari's phone, terse and demanding, asking if he was seeing Liz. It was aggressive, possessive, unlike Cari. Dave was confused. This sudden shift, this hostile tone, marked the exact moment the real Cari disappeared, and the digital ghost began its reign. A ghost that would insinuate itself into every aspect of their lives, weaving a web of lies and torment. What followed was a relentless assault. Thousands of messages, sent from Cari's phone number and email address, flooded Dave's inboxes, and those of Cari's family and friends. They were manipulative, cruel, constantly shifting narratives. One moment, Cari was claiming mental illness, needing space. The next, she was accusing Dave of infidelity, or warning her family to stay away. The sheer volume and consistency of the communication made it impossible to ignore. It was convincing. It was exhausting. And it made any attempt to search for Cari seem pointless, as she was reaching out constantly, yet always just out of reach. Dave Kropa wasn't the only one receiving these tormenting messages. Liz Gollier, his on-again, off-again girlfriend, also reported being harassed by Cari. Messages poured into Liz's phone, accusing her, threatening her, mimicking the same erratic patterns seen in messages sent to Dave. Liz played the part of a victim convincingly. She expressed fear, frustration, even solidarity with Dave over their shared ordeal. This seemingly parallel harassment made the digital ghost even more believable, diverting suspicion and solidifying the narrative that Cari was indeed alive, but deeply disturbed and vengeful. It was a masterstroke of manipulation. For 4 agonizing years, the digital torment continued. Cari's family endured unimaginable pain, torn between believing she was alive and fearing the worst. Dave Kropa lived under constant digital scrutiny, his life a barrage of accusations and demands. The police, confronted with a person who seemed to be communicating, albeit erratically, initially classified Cari as a voluntary missing person. Without a body, without a clear crime scene, the case stalled. But the truth, though buried deep beneath layers of digital lies, was waiting. A dedicated team of investigators refused to let Cari Farver remain just a digital phantom. Enter Mark Lott and Ryan Gordon, investigators from Pottawatomie County, Iowa, alongside Lieutenant Anthony Minata from Omaha. They approached the case with fresh eyes, seeing beyond the seemingly endless digital communication. They understood that the digital world, like the physical, leaves footprints. Their meticulous work began, tracing IP addresses, analyzing cell tower data, scrutinizing the metadata of every single message. They looked not for Cari, but for who was pretending to be Cari. This painstaking digital forensics would prove to be the key, slowly unraveling the intricate web of deception that had hidden a dark truth for far too long. The investigators focused on a key anomaly, many of the texts and emails were being sent from places that didn't align with Cari's known whereabouts or habits. IP addresses traced back to Liz Golyer's home, or places she frequented. They also discovered that a burner app was being used, allowing messages to be sent from an untraceable number, mimicking Cari's. The digital ghost was not a ghost at all. It was a carefully constructed digital facade. The sheer volume of digital evidence, once overwhelming, now became a roadmap directly to the perpetrator. The lies were crumbling. Then came the undeniable proof. In 2013, a message from Cari included a photograph of the interior of Cari Farver's car, specifically a blanket on the front seat. Liz Golyer had also received this photo. Years later, Liz, while being interviewed, revealed a chilling detail: she had taken that photo after Cari's death. It was a momentary slip, a boastful admission, caught on tape. She had provided the very evidence that tied her directly to Cari's vehicle, at a time Cari was already gone. This single image, a snapshot of a tragic truth, shattered the illusion and exposed the monstrous deception. The motive was chillingly simple: extreme, obsessive jealousy over Dave Kropa. Liz Golyer, unable to let go of Dave, had decided to eliminate her perceived rival. She murdered Cari Farver, then embarked on an elaborate, 4-year scheme to impersonate her, to cover her tracks, and to continue to manipulate and torment Dave. Her meticulous planning, the sheer dedication to maintaining the digital ruse, spoke of a deep-seated pathology. The woman who had pretended to be a victim, who had cried alongside Dave, was the architect of all their suffering. The digital ghost was unmasked, and behind it, a killer. In December 2016, Shauna Liz Golyer was finally arrested. The digital evidence, coupled with her unwitting confession about the car photograph, was overwhelming. In August 2017, she was convicted of first-degree murder, despite Cari Farver's body never being found. Though some small remains were eventually linked to Cari, the primary evidence was digital. Liz Golyer was sentenced to life in prison. Justice, slow and hard-won, was finally served for Cari Farver, whose vibrant life was tragically cut short, and whose memory was desecrated by years of digital lies. The ghost was finally silenced. The case of Cari Farver and Liz Golyer stands as a chilling testament to the dark potential of the digital age. It reveals how easily a person can vanish, replaced by a meticulously crafted online persona, and how the virtual world can become a weapon. This story serves as a stark reminder of the hidden dangers lurking behind screens, the devastating power of obsession, and the tireless dedication of those who fight to bring truth to light, even when faced with a phantom. Cari Farver may have been silenced, but her story, a haunting echo, warns us all.